When you make progress, you're going to make money, but just because you make money doesn't mean you're going to make progress. What's up, peeps? How you doing? You already know who it is. Your friendly neighborhood manifester, Tahid Spence. If you've been following this journey, then you know we're building more than just a YouTube channel. This is a testimony. We're showing you guys exactly how manifestation works. I'm doing this because I'm making a YouTube channel from not knowing anything about YouTube at all. So I figured it was a perfect opportunity to show you guys exactly how manifestation works. If you know me, you know I'm working on my book right now, The 4 Steps of Manifestation, the practical guide to universal tools, coming to you very, very soon. I'm just about done wrapping that up. With that said, showing you guys exactly how it works with the 4 steps, the 4 steps of thought, speech, specificity, being specific, and work. Sometimes things can get really theorized and it can be sensationalized and make you think that you don't really have to do anything. You can just sit down, meditate, and things are going to happen for you. But that's just not how manifestation works. It's a real process. It's very much so real. It's happening every day. You see it all the time. It's all around you. Everything around you has been manifested from somebody. Think about the street lights, the cars, the phones, to the houses. Somebody had to think about that, speak it into alignment, get very specific about the details of it, and then got to work to get it done. So you're seeing other people's thoughts manifested into reality every day, all around you. But now it's your turn, right? And how we're going to do that is show you how it's done by manifesting this YouTube channel, a successful YouTube channel, through going through the actual steps of thought. And you've been with me, you know what I'm doing. I've been through the thought process of, conceptualizing it. What is going to be, what are we going to be talking about, speaking it into alignment, making sure that I'm talking to the right people, getting that good energy, that good flow back, being very specific and detailed about it, not just making a YouTube page, but making a specific YouTube channel about things that I wish somebody would have told me. So we have the specifics of what we're going to be, of what the content is going to be, right? And now it's just about getting to work. And how does that look, right? So started off with gathering the information necessary that we're going to need to make this thing happen. So that involved knowledge, right? So you have to get that knowledge, that good information boost, right? So we have to do some research, study, right? And then really got into it, watched a ton of YouTube videos about how to start a YouTube channel, what equipment you're gonna need, all the basics of what your content should be or how you go about it, and from what I've heard, I'm pretty much aligned with everything that I need to do. I already have my content that I'm going to be talking about. I'm hopeful that it's going to help others, and that's the sole purpose of why I'm doing it anyway, to fulfill that identity, who I am, know who I am, and then making sure that make this thing successful and help others with it. So I'm fulfilling that purpose with that. So I'm perfectly fine with going through the process of manifesting this YouTube channel. So hopefully I can help you out there, maybe just so help you with your own manifestation journey. So one more thing, I don't want you to just watch me throughout this journey. This is a perfect opportunity for you to get started walking on your journey, seeing what you want to manifest into reality. What do you identify with? What's inside of you? What is that burning desire that's inside of you that you've been wanting to fulfill, for some time now? And now you are here because you're not here by happenstance. You're here on purpose, So what are you going to be manifesting for yourself into your reality during this time? Because I'm going to show you step by step how I do this. And as I go through it, I'm giving you the information that you're going to need to manifest your own thing into reality. So, this week we're going to move deeper into the specifics, and the work, so we're getting very specific in what I'm going to need to get this thing done. And I've done that by, researching and studying. Shout out to all of the people out there in the YouTube sphere. I hope I'm saying it right. So, people out there that's willingly giving up that information that you're going to need to get what you want to do done. And now I'm going to get to work, because it's going to take some work Nothing that you want is going to come easy. You got to be willing to work for what you want. So I'm willing to put the work in, see what I need to do. So I've gathered the information that I need about the equipment. So it's a ton too. I'm going to need camera so that you can see me better, right? Microphone so that you can hear me much better, right? Lighting so you can see me much better. All that stuff, editing software, all the necessary tools that we're going to need to get this thing done. So how do I get them, right? I know what I need, but how do I get it? So you got to use your resources. Unfortunately, everybody's not going to have the money just sitting in a bank account waiting for you to use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something that I really do know how to do to gather the resources to make that happen, right? So what I'm going to do this week, and I'm going to show you guys, is something that I can do very well. If you know me, you know. I'm going to do some jerk chicken. I am from Jamaica. I do know how to make some really good food, Caribbean food, Jamaican food, but I really know how to make jerk chicken. So what I'm going to do is a jerk chicken fundraiser for the funds that I'm going to need to get the equipment. So I'm going to need about $1,500 for all my lighting, my cameras, my microphone and all the other things that I'm going to need. So it's going to cost about $1,500 total for my little starter pack that I'm going to need. Start this fundraiser. I'm going to give myself $300 for an initial investment. That's just coming out of my pocket. You got to invest in yourself. Your number one investment should always be in yourself, right? So I'm going to invest $300 into my jerk chicken ingredients and supplies that I'm going to need, making sure that I have everything good that I'm going to need. I'm planning to sell 35 plates, $15 a piece, which should give me about $525 per day. I'm going to do it for 6 days, because if I do it for 6 days, that'll give me enough funding for what I need. So I'm going to do, 35 plates at $15 a piece. And we're going to get to 35 plates at $15 a piece, which will give me about $3,150. That should give me $3,150, right? All right, somebody do the math. That'll give me $3,150, but I'm also going to need $200 each of those days to make sure that I have all of the supplies that I'm going to need to continue it. And that should give me enough money to fund what I'm trying to do and give me my $300 of my initial investment back. So I should have $1,850, give me my $300 back. So I should have $1,550, and that should give me enough to get all of the equipment that I'm going to need. All right. So that's what we're going to do. And I'll take you on that journey, and you can see me out there grilling out some jerk chicken. Shout out to one of my friends. You got to pull on those resources that you got. Shout out to J. Cole's at Fade Factory Barbershop, Fade Factory 256 in Huntsville, Alabama. I'll be out there jerking some chicken. That's one of my good friends that I grew up with. He owns that barbershop. So I'm going to be outside of there, utilizing that space, on those 6 days so I can gather the funds that I'm going to need to get this jerk chicken popping and sell those plates so I can get the funding that I'm going to need for my equipment that I'm going to need to start, right? That's just a start. So, it always takes work, but you got to be willing to work for what you want. And, I am. So, we got to do what we got to do, until you can do what you need to do. You got to do what you need to do until you can do what you want to do. And that's just how it's going to go. So that's the plan. And what's the lesson in this? What's the thing I wish somebody would have told me that's going to help me through this process is always focus on the progress over the money, right? $300 investment. I got to get $1,500 to get the equipment. I'm not worried about that stuff. What I'm worried about is keeping my progress going, right? And the reason why you focus on the progress over the money is because you can't make money your master, man. Don't ever make money your master. You make money your master, you're going to fall in love with money, and then you'll do anything for money, right? You can't do anything for money, because if you do anything for money, the first thing you're going to do for money is sell your time for money. And you need your time to add value to yourself, right? So you need that time, because the time is what's going to need to do to add value. And your value is, in my estimation, your knowledge and your skill, right? So, you need your time to get that, because to get knowledge, you're going to have to do the study and the research, right? And to get the skill, you're going to have to practice. And you can't spend money on that. The only thing that you can spend on that is time, right? So that's why your time is more valuable than money. And you don't sell your time for money, because selling your time for money is like having a pocket full of gold and selling it for silver. You know, like both of them hold value, but which one holds more value, right? Your time, right? So you can't just give up all your time. You need your time to add value to yourself. And that's why you focus on the progress over the money, because when you focus on the progress of adding value to yourself, you know, it's like planting a seed, and that when that tree grows, money's going to be one of the branches. So when you make progress, you're going to make money. But just because you make money doesn't mean you're going to make progress, right? I hope that don't go over your head and you understand it. You know, so you always focused over on the progress that you're making, because the progress that you're making of adding value to yourself, that's what's going to make you more valuable. And when you're more valuable, you're going to know what you're worth. And when you know what you're worth, then you can walk into the room that you want to walk into and you can name your price. Versus when you walk into somebody else's room and they name the price for you, right? A wise man once told me, you know, you're only worth what you negotiate, right? And the person that wins the negotiation is the one that will walk away from the table first, right? So you want to be able to walk away from the table if they're giving you less than what you deserve, less than what you're worth. You know, hopefully when you walk into a room, you know that you can replace 3 people that's in there. And if they try to replace you, they're going to have to use 3 people to replace you, because you're just that valuable, you know? So always increasing your value, and you need your time to do that. And that's why you focus on progress over the money, because I guarantee you, if you just focus on the money, 30 years have passed, you'll be unfulfilled, unhappy, and you'll wonder where the time went and why you didn't make the progress that you thought you was going to make. And it's because you didn't spend that time adding value to yourself, you know? So here we go. We're about to go on this little journey right now of watching me, you know, whip up some jerk chicken, sell some plates, get that funding so we can get the equipment that we need. And it's going to happen, baby, because, you know, ain't nothing stopping me but me. Right. All right. You know, I could talk your head off forever, but until the next time, you know, I'm always here for you. Peace.